Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Run It Up. Run It Up number 51. We are playing some 51 No Limit Hold'em, coincidentally, today. How nice is that? We are starting out today with $1,224. I'm so excited about that, I can't even get the word out. And yeah, hopefully we'll do some work running it up here. I recognize only Control-Alt-Delete, who we've played with a bunch before. If you've been watching these 50-cent dollar videos, some heads up sit and goes, we've had some battles with good old Control-Alt-Delete over there, looking as angelic as always. And I kind of recognize Easy Peasy. I thumbs up the name, and I kind of feel like I know Queen Latifah over there. And McStraddle also looks familiar to me, although I'm not 100% sure on that. That's kind of a very common-looking name, generally speaking. Oh, let's look at that nitty fold. That's the tightest fold of the night there, boys and girls. It's not going to get any tighter than this little nitty fold. But I think against like three regulars, probably isn't that winning to open this here. I mean, I definitely would in some moods, but look at this. Look at this dodging we've done here. Hopefully Control-Delete just four balls it. Nope, not this time. Looks like we did some good work. We saved two sweet Run It Up dollars here, or maybe even a little bit more. So yeah, here we are running it up, back on the grind. Hope you enjoyed yesterday's video, the 510 Funhouse. Played some higher stakes, slightly only like 10x higher than this. No big deal. We played some 510 yesterday for a little bit. That was kind of fun. We did some work there. Go check that out if you haven't. And yeah, the plan is videos every single day this week, Monday through Friday. I said yesterday, oh, look, we might have actually won this hand, two pair. I mean, who cares, obviously, but yeah. So the plan this week is to do videos Monday through Friday. I had been playing with different configurations of like trying to do videos every day, trying to do 6-10 of spades. What is this? I'd been trying to do videos every day, some weeks, and then I think this Monday through Friday schedule is probably going to be the best for balance, consistency, quality, quantity, and just kind of like I think it's good. So my plan is to do videos at least Monday through Friday and just promise that we'll be doing videos for at least the decent amount of future, Monday through Friday, every day, reasonably posted times, so that's what we're gonna do. I think it'll be good going forward. So that is that, I suppose. Within the next couple days, there'll be some pretty exciting things happening with Run It Up, and you guys will like it. I'm excited. I've got stuff ready to go, all queued up. So this will be a fun Run It Up week for the squad. There's some cool giveaways, lots of cool things being given away. No matter what you're into, I got something to give you, I think. So I don't mean giving you the business either. Real things, So yeah, I'm excited. This will be a cool week for some lucky viewers, I think. So yeah, there's that. Today was probably my biggest in terms of like most important meeting I have maybe had ever in my life. Just like a cool a pretty big presentation. It was like baby's first corporate PowerPoint. was what happened today, and it went good though. I'm excited. That also could mean cool things for us team Run It Up. All my Run It Up warrior children out there grinding, like that Lupe Fiasco song, Kick Push, right? To all my homies out there grinding. That's right. Quoting Lupe Fiasco songs. That's what we're doing. Lupe Fiasco, for a long time, was my favorite artist for sure. I love Lupe Fiasco. I think maybe my favorite song ever by Lupe, maybe even by anyone, but by Lupe Fiasco for sure, is "Hurt Me Soul." Absolutely unbelievable song, lyrically speaking. It's fantastic. I won't rap any of it for you. I'll do you that favor. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck you. $7. I was gonna fold, but you know what? That's it. I'm mad. $7. That's right. Rear is. I'm upset. Let's see if Easy Peasy 3-bets us. Little does he know, we're bargain hunters, and I can't fold for $11 here to win 18. So, our I really had no reason to re-raise, although I think re-raising here is probably profitable in a vacuum. But in this particular case, we certainly can't fold. We're calling 10 to win 30 in position with a hand. How can we say no? There's no way. Let's see a flop dealer. Give it to me. All right. That's pretty good. I mean, when you're starting with 5 and 7, having it come queen 3 and 6 is not the worst of combinations. So we're going to start here with a call. We could shove or something like that. We've seen this guy be loose in some cases, but I'm fine with just calling. Let's start with a call and go from there. Hopefully we either turn a pair or the actual straight would have been fine as well. 8 is a interesting card. We have to just fold, unfortunately, because our price is just not good enough. I mean, we could have arguably just shoved on flop or raised, got it in on flop, something like that. But, I think, we did see him just 3-bet and show it down with the 6-10 suited. So I guess it's, possible that this guy is just, that this guy is light enough that he'll bet fold flop. Maybe I should have just shoved flop. That might have been a mistake instead of trying to float against a guy who we've seen be aggressive in other spots. But he didn't really play that 6-10. He re-raised pre-flop with the 6-10 suited, but he really didn't just blast it down. This board is a little bit drier, so I really don't know for sure. It's possible this guy, I don't think he had the worst hand by any means, but it's possible that guy would have ended up folding if we had just re-raised on the flop, or just raised on the flop, I should say. But all right, well, you gotta get stuck a little bit. Now we can let the heater begin. The only decision really there that I think might have been bad is the flop call. That flop call maybe should have just been a straight up raise. Definitely not folding. But I think maybe calling can't be bad. But if he ever has hands like just 10-9 suited and then blasts us off on the turn, that's always really sad. And we can just get him to fold right then and there. But we also just lose, obviously, to any single pair he decides not to fold. We're just like, oh, we've got a gut shot. So I'm not really sure. It really depends on our opponent, and we haven't really seen enough to really be sure. But I think calling is okay, but I'm not loving it by any means. I wouldn't put that one on the front page of a poker magazine. I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, look, the old Master Chief avatar. We used to be a Master Chief, and now we're just a leprechaun. We're Conor McGregor. We're doing much better these days than that guy over there, the old Master Chief avatar. All right, so we got a little bit of work to do, but ain't no thing. Queen 10 of clubs. We're gonna be certainly seeing flops with this hand. Let's see. All right, friendly poker being played here. If Randy decides to, all right, I could make it 4. I think 5 is just as fine. We're out of position. Our hand is probably the best hand because if this guy didn't have the best hand, why would he just check? Why would he not raise, So it's at least possible that we have the best hand. And this is actually a great spot for the big blind to attack us. And, just so because we probably aren't that strong, you could risk 12 here to win. If you're making a 13, you risking 12 to win 7. It's a great spot, but looks like we get through there with the old puppy dog feet. That's right. Beautiful hand. If we only had these two hands together, once we get PLO, people have asked me, Jay Carver, play PLO. And I say to you, I would love to play PLO. Not that I think I'm as good at PLO as I am at Hold'em, or even close, but I am happy to gamble it up in any methodology you give me to gamble on. So as soon as we get Ultimate Poker has to establish itself in more places before we can spread PLO, because if we had PLO right now, it would be really bad for the economy of the games, right? The games there's not enough people in Nevada to play PLO and Hold'em, so it'd probably be really bad for the Hold'em games if we started running PLO. That's my opinion. I'm not sure if that's what the actual deal is, but that's once that happens, I will be in there, I promise you. So it looks like we had the best hand around the turn, and we bet on it, and he believed us. So all right, there's that. So yeah, this week I'm going to get through all of, or at least most of these emails, I think, but the viewer questions we've been going through. But as of some point this week, we're going to switch that up and do something else. And good emails will receive. You'll see, it'll be good. But get your writing hands all warmed up, ready to go, because by the middle of this week, there'll be things going on. in email land. All right, so we've got 81.99. We're like a well priced frying pan right now is what we've got our stack here. Is that right? I don't know. What can you get what does a well priced frying pan go for these days? Hey Amazon, what do we get a well priced frying pan go for these days? You can get a frying pan for $25, $38. All right, so we're almost like two. We've almost got two frying pan stacks. All right. Sorry, I didn't know. I haven't bought much cookware in my life. That's one of the upsides of eating plain chicken, plain turkey, and like three other things combined in rotation. Don't have to eat too much. Let's do a question. I'm going to pull one from the middle. I mean, these are pretty shuffled, but that is a lot of words. All right, let's find something that's a little shorter. Oh, this is good. All right. So yeah, I've been asking for viewer questions. In case you're not familiar with this little thing I'm doing here, I've been asking for viewer questions over at dearjcarver@gmail.com. And I've been reading them, and they've been pretty good. I've been enjoying them. So keep them coming. If you have any questions, fire them out. Be like, hey, Jay Carver, I need to know some answer here. Help me out. And maybe I will. It's possible. All right. Randy Watson wants to see us read a question. He's like, no, I'll just walk you. You don't have to play this hand. Don't worry. All right, let's read this question then. Hi. No, dear Jay Carver. Not good. This is the old one, though, so I'll let you off the hook this time. Hi. Would you rather suggest trying to build up your own role on low stakes or playing as a horse on higher? That's a fairly decent question, and I think that's basically like a mathematical thing. Let's see if we flop anything here and then go for that. So the question, or at least the first question is, should you play low stakes on your own or get staked for a higher limit? And I think that question ultimately comes down to what the deal is that you're being offered, how much higher those stakes are, and how difficult the games are, and it really depends on the deal and all that, I guess, at its core, right? So let's say, for example, I have $10,000 to my name, and I'm playing 1-2, occasionally 2-5, and somebody comes in and says, I'll stake you for 2-5. We'll play, I'll get half of your profits every month, and you'll have none of the losses. We'll do a makeup deal, whatever. So, AKA a makeup deal means like if I give you 20,000 to play for me and you lose 10,000, and then you go on to win 30,000, you have to pay me back my $10,000 in makeup before we chop up that rest of that money, right? So if you have a good deal, if the deal terms make sense, then you should go with it. But for a deal like this, like we just talked about, if you're already playing 1-2 and some 2-5, getting a deal that only lets you play 2-5, it like really hurts your hourly, right? Let's say your hourly is $35 an hour or something like that, and then all of a sudden you start getting backed, and now you're getting $17.50 an hour, assuming that there's nothing else different, and you're getting a 50-50 deal. You know what I mean? You're only getting half of your earnings, so it's not worth it then. And if you move up to play 5-10, that game might be much tougher, in which case your hourly there if you're a winner, your hourly there might not be more than $20 or $30 an hour, in which case then even playing that backed doesn't make sense. You're making more money at 2-5. So it's really just a matter of evaluating what your edge is, what your return are, what your return is, and just going from there. Like I really think that I think that's probably the way to go. I'm gonna 3-bet this. I think we've seen Control Delete re-raise enough times now that I feel pretty comfortable re-raising. He definitely can re-raise us light, and then he definitely can shove here light. But I think this works often enough. We made it 2, so we're risking 23 to win 10, 11, 15, like $12 or so. Risking 23 to win 12. Sometimes he calls, and we just continue from there. Didn't work out for us this time. I think we had seen him do this enough times. I felt like this was fine, given that we had an ace. But looks like not this time. We got given the business, shown the door, put in the cage, all those things. Are you filming Jay Carver? I am filming. I'm even filming Jay Carver. Indeed. All right. We're just going to start here with a call on the big blind. Of course, we have 2 cards in a row for a minimum raise. Certainly seeing a flop. Pretty happy with that. Against the check, I'm quite happy to bet. Certainly would assume we have the best hand, given a min raise and a check on this board. I could have bet $2. Maybe $3 is a little scary. Maybe if he has a hand like Ace Jack, his run it up debut. That's right. It is your run it up debut. Ain't no thing. Don't worry none. You know. At least you're not a cat avatar. Then you'd have no place to hide, right? All right, let's see. So did I answer your question? It really depends on the deal, you know. It really depends on the deal and what the scenario is like. And I think that one of the worst things you can do is get yourself into like, I mean, I don't know. I think these days the backing deals are usually pretty favorable to the backer, and as they kind of should be as the economy shrinks, at least in America, or has shrunk in America. It makes more sense that the backers are getting the better of the deals. So it depends. It depends on who you know, what your deal is, who you know. It really just depends. There's no real great answer to give you. Sorry about that. The other part of your question, I guess we could raise, but I think calling is fine. The other question is, could you talk about some of your live final tables on Storytime? I would love to. That sounds like a fun thing to do. That's not really a question, though, so we will see about that, I guess, as the video continues. I've been lucky to make a good amount of final tables in my day. Oh, we are so betting this here. I mean, it's possible that he has this beat, but we don't worry about things like possible. We think about probable and probably not. Does he have the best hand? That is my evaluation of this. Looks like I was correct, but unfortunately I did not get paid for being correct, so I just get to be right, which is not nearly as nice as being paid for being right. Gonna raise this up here. I think $2 is actually fine, given that we know Control likes to give us the business over there. I think I'd rather make it smaller rather than bigger, but I don't think it makes a huge difference either way. $3. I would like to bet $3 that I have the best hand as of right now. He could have a hand like Jack 10, something like that. But no matter what he has that he's check raising us with, he has a lot of equity, right? Like, let's say he has Jack 10. Jack 10 has 2 overcards and an open ender. Even though we have an ace covered, he still has us he still has us beat. It's a mistake to fold given the math of it, but if he ever has a king or a queen, we're just in such bad shape. And I think we can contest there enough on a board like that we don't have to also call with ace 5. You know what I mean? Like, I think we'll call there with all of our kings, all of our draws, all of our queens. I think we can fold a 5 there, even against someone as aggressive as Control Alt Delete over there. I think that is probably fine. So I think, I've told some stories about my final tables, but I think instead of me just I don't have one pre-prepared. So you got one question. I answered half of your email. I'm sorry. If you have, maybe we'll do some specific stories as I think of them later. We'll pull a question in a second once this big blind has been defended, because I get another walk. All right. Basically, we've got walks, 3 times? 3 of 3? Something like that? Ace and king. We got that AK. Man, what a nitty game. I'm going to raise it up here because we have ace and the king, and hopefully McStraddle puts pressure on us, but nope, this is like the knit swamp over here. No one wants to put any money in the pot. Well, I guess we'll stick around here for a little bit longer, but I'll at least consider making a table change if it doesn't improve, reasonably speaking. So I realized here with 9-8 suited, kind of similar to the 5-7 offsuit spot before, but I think it's fine. We're just going to play a bigger pot in position against a guy who seems like he might be a little hesitant to make mistakes against us, which is great with me. And our hand is good enough, in position. I think it's fine. Going to start here with a bet. If our opponent continues, I'll be slightly concerned, but, we have the best hand more likely than not here fairly often. If he check raises, it's kind of gross, because what is he check raising us with? Does he have exactly 6-7, a bluff? I mean, he has 5s and better 8s and pocket pairs that are higher than us a decent amount of the time. I guess we just call here. I think it's about, I mean, we had this almost exact same situation where we re-raised in the past, but I think it's fine. You really can't mess it up too badly. Given that no one's really been aggressive, we're not worried about getting squeezed out of this. I mean, the only person that would really do that is this guy, who, this is obviously this is a trademark. It's a trademark Control-Alt-Delete. Put us in the cage play. Oh, see you later, $2. See you later, $2. See, he is tricky over there. He has the angelic thing going on, but it's all a ruse, It's all a rule. It's just a ruse, Control-Delete doesn't take no guff, He has a bit of a whippersnapper over there, as it were. All right, there actually are other games going. Maybe I should hop in one of those. Although, to be honest with you, they all have even lower average pot sizes than this one does. So we'll stick here for the rest of the video, probably. Why not? One of the issues that we've kind of hit at this point in the video life cycle is that we're now at a point where there really aren't sit and goes that run for our bankroll at right now. Like, there really aren't any, like the 6 max sit and goes don't run that often, and when they do, they certainly don't run at 5 in the morning when I usually record these videos. So they until that changes, we're gonna probably end up only playing we'll play more tournaments because the weekend tournaments will be big enough to be played, and the weekly. I think there's a weekly $100 buy-in, a weekly $200 buy-in. Once we probably have to satellite into the $200 buy-in one, but we'll play those. We'll play those on Sundays from time to time for the Monday videos, and even though there'll probably be less sit and go action for a little while at least, we will try to make that up in some tournament action eventually. Eventually. 9 and 10. This is a great squeezing hand. 9-10 offsuit is one of my favorite hands to squeeze, because what you do is, if you don't know how to squeeze cards, I don't have any really way I can show you because I don't have cards here that I can show you with. But basically, if you've ever seen poker professionals on whole card cams, some of them, mostly the live pros, the online kids don't do this, but they're missing out. Squeezing cards basically is a way that you can kind of sweat what you're going to get by using your thumbs to hide most of the information. So you cover the edges with your thumbs, right? So you hold the cards horizontally from you and push down on the top of your fingers and then peel this way. That way. I have no idea if that worked or not. I have no clue if that worked or not. I don't have cards around. I don't know what to say. I am not prepared for this demonstration. But when you squeeze the cards, you can just see the end, the top end of them. So if it's paint, you can see if it's pink. You can see if it's how many pips there are. You can see if there's no pips, And if there's no pips, it's either an ace, deuce, or 3. Blah blah blah. You can tell based on how many pips there are. So when it's 10-9, they're both the same 4 across. So you're like, oh, I either have 10-9 or a pair. It's great. What more can you ask for in life? All right, so in this hand, I opened Control-Delete re-raised, and I ended up calling, and then flop went check, which I'm not really thrilled about, because if Control-Delete had... Oh, man. I mean, I feel like we don't win this. I feel like he's got to have, pocket 8s, something like that, or maybe he has a jack. We win sometimes, but maybe he just gave up. That's kind of weird, but it's possible because he's, 40 tabling, so it's possible that he's just, autopiloting and didn't realize he flopped nothing and checked back. It's possible. The way we played this hand, I think we're going to end up just check folding. I think that it's more likely that he has it than he doesn't, even though it's possible he doesn't. I think we're fine just folding. We have some other options here, but I don't really like any of them, so I think we just fold. Preflop is probably fine, but, yeah, it's got to be fine because we know how light he is. So I think that, we don't know for sure, but we suspect that, King 10 suited is going to have enough equity to continue preflop, and I'm pretty sure it does, so... We ended up losing that one, but I don't feel too bad about it. It was one of those situations that's just kind of hard to combat. But yeah, I think that's okay. Against this particular player, I think I'm okay with calling here. I think we can get away with a call like this, which is probably a losing call against a good percentage of people. Against a guy who had been like open limping a little bit and seemed a bit on maybe ghosts under the bed. Sure, ghosts under the bed type. I think we can maybe put some pressure on him and on scary boards like this one, and start off with the check raise and then just give him the business on any kind of like scary turn and river cards. Sometimes we just lose and he just has it, but I think that our plan worked out pretty well. I think that was pretty much what we wanted to do there. So with 7 deuce, even though it's 7 deuce, it is suited, on the button. How bad can it be? $2. If someone re-raises, I think this one will get put in the trash. But we'll dumpster this one if we have to. But I guess we're more likely to be played with by Control Alt Delete. Should we call him CAD? Is that a nice thing? Can we just start doing nicknames? Maybe not. But I think we're gonna get played with by CAD there pretty often, but it's the button. Texas Hold'em. How hard can it be? Raise, bet. It's great. What more can you ask for in life? So our opponent decided to tank and call. So I'm slightly concerned here that our opponent has a 9 or something like that. Our opponent could also have some sort of like straight draw type of thing. I guess we just check back, right? I mean, I suppose we just check back. And now he bets, which is very peculiar. Like, why can't we have ace highs? Why are you betting? Well, I'm not really sure what the deal is with this hand. I'm quite perplexed, but ultimately handcuffed by the fact that we have 7 deuce. So I'm very suspicious of this because it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Either it's like super strong or weak, but there's nothing logically that makes sense that we would check back that would now want to, blast it off. So I don't think we can tell any reasonable, logical story there that can let us win that pot on the river. But I was tempted. I was tempted, but you can't win them all. If you could win them all, no one would play with you. How's that for truth and logic? So in this hand of poker, I had raised pre-flop and the button called. And now here we are on the turn with what may be the best hand or may not be the best hand. I'm not quite certain. I would bet that we have the best hand more often than not, because if you would imagine that if he had anything that was much better than a single pair, we would have found out about it on the flop. All right, off to the river we go. So at this point, I think it makes more sense to check than to bet. I mean, it's possible that he has a hand like a 9, 9 jack, 9 king suited, something like that would maybe call on the river. But I want to give him a chance to bluff, I suppose, once. I'm not necessarily sure those hands are calling. And I don't think a better hand is going to fold than us if he has king 10 or ace 10. I don't think that hand is going to fold given how the board ran out. So didn't work out for us that time, but, what can you do? Let's do another question. All right. Let's see. Oh, this one is for some reason enormous. I don't know why that is. But this one's ready to be read for like 50-year-old Jay Carver. It's like okay. Dear Jay Carver, luxury font writing. I'm not sure why that happened. If that's you or for me, I don't know. But still. Anyway, Dear Jay Carver, I understand the concept of ROI as in regards to how many tables one plays versus profit. I understand the concept of ROI in regards to how many tables one plays versus profit. Okay. I imagine you started out one tabling back in the day. I did because I had to, because that was all they had back in the day. They only had one tabling capability. What is the most you've played in one session? How many tables do you usually play now? Any comments re Elky or Nanonoko, those crazy multi-tablers? Thank you, R. Ya. Well, the most tables I've ever played in my life is probably like 16, 18. I think I did it for like the fun of it once to play like 18, 50-cent dollar tables or something like that and just see if I could. And it's a shit show, like obviously it's crazy. What I think you're referring to about understanding like ROI to like profit and all that. Like, you imagine you play one table like I do and pay perfect maximum attention. And let's say theoretically I make $10 an hour playing this. And then you open up a second table. And now my attention is divided in half, but my win rate isn't divided in half because now I'm playing more hands. But I'm not making quite as much as I'm making paying perfect attention, right? So playing two tables for $8 an hour or something like that, I'm making $16, right? So I'm making more than I'm making one tabling. And with that same concept, playing four tables, maybe I'm making $7 an hour, so et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to maximize your hourly rate, figuring out what the sweet spot is between how many tables and how much your hourly rate is per table is obviously important. You can also imagine that same concept in terms of like, let's say I'm one tabling and watching a UFC press conference. That UFC press conference is costing me money to watch, right? If I'm also playing poker. Any sort of like distraction like that, if you're playing like a full Sunday worth of poker tournaments and, one person is sitting over there, headphones on, laser-like focus, and the other person is getting drunk, rooting for football teams and doing whatever else, but also still playing poker the whole day, obviously that guy's multi-tabling is costing him money in terms of focus and attention. So yeah, I think that concept makes pretty much a decent amount of sense, and it's just a matter of finding out, what you are. If you're like one of those 16-year-old Danish phenoms that loves to watch my videos and 18 tables while, doing your thing over there, that's great. Go crazy, whatever makes you happy. But, it's totally perfectly fine to Phil Ivey it and just play one table and just crush it, and that's also fine. I think that if you're a beginning player, it makes more sense to play less tables because you really want to think. You want to think through, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does it mean when he does this? What does it mean when he does that? And just keep track of your emotional tabs and just, watch people and learn and experience. And I think you'll generally have a better experience and enjoy it more. All right, Nitty Fold. Actually, maybe I should have opened this. That might have been too tight. I didn't notice this guy was sitting out, so that was a little silly. But it's got to be close. But so yeah, I think that the guys that can do it, like Elky and Nanonoko, who obviously can multi-table successfully, I'm all about it. I think it's great. Whatever makes you happy, it's fine. But even Elky would tell you that he couldn't 20 table like a 10K tournament. Like he wouldn't 20 table like when it actually mattered because you're giving up a lot of information. And it's in that avenue where the multi-tabling software helps, that kind of keeps track of a little bit more of the statistics and stuff. Like, that's when that kind of software really, really shines, because it really helps you when you're playing 20 tables to have something else pay attention for you. Which is why I'm not really a great fan of it, because it also hurts the games. When there's a guy who's playing 12 tables and it depends. 12 tables sometimes to somebody is nobody, but if they're playing 20 tables and max tanking on every table, not able to keep up with it, that's bad for the game. You don't want guys who are like that playing just because it makes everyone upset and it kills the games, right? No one wants to play a poker game with 6 people who are 20 tabling and just like it's not really fun. I don't think, if you're like not able to handle the tables. I know there are people who can, but I think that's just a true thing, not really a relevant thing, but I think that's true enough. So let's pull another question here, the last one for the evening. Dear Jay Carver, and he wrote it in caps too. I don't want to spoil his email address. Dear Jay Carver, look at that. Oh my God. There we go. Dear Jay Carver, all caps. That is great. Thank you, sir. Dear Jay Carver, not even a question, he's yelling at me. Dear Jay Carver, what is your opinion on playing Zoom or Rush poker, i.e. your personal preference as well as everything it's good to play in general? I think it's fine. Enjoy it. Whatever. Gambling, good. Gambling is good. Gambling faster is even better. I'm a big fan of it, generally speaking. You obviously miss out on some things, and it's a whole different variant, but I'm all about it. What's wrong with it? I'm a fan. Thumbs up. What kind of player types do you think have better outcomes in this game type lag, tag, nit, etc., beginner, backup, grinder, etc. I mean, the best kind of players. I mean, remember that all that kind of stuff pretty much happened like within a year of Black Friday, and I even back then I wasn't really a grinder, so I haven't played much of it. But when I've played it, playing loose has always really worked for me because people want to just get out of there. People are just like, oh, I don't know what to do. Okay, fold. So like I feel like if you really want to, if you go out there with an empty cage and go hunting, I think you can get a lot of people to put in that cage. Just want to escape it and go to the next table really quickly. So I think it's great. I think it's a fun format. It's one of those like great experiment type of things, and probably really good at helping you understand the fundamentals of like the street fight aspect of poker. Like I make that joke, fighting out in the streets, like that's the streets for you right there, because if you're playing the higher stakes of those, like every single hand is a contest or not, or like, there's always a decision to battle. And I think that's a very good crucible of poker training, those quick paced poker games, generally speaking. All right, I think I'm done with questions. Question and answer window is closed. We covered a lot of topics. That's it. That's what I got for question and answering. Let's play one more orbit here. Hopefully we can spin up 40 sweet dollars and end up, or more even. Let's see if we don't get a walk this time. $1 more. I'll pay $1 to see a flop, sir. That's a beautiful flop for Queen Deuce offsuit. $2. All right. I'll stick around. Let's see a turn card. I'm not scared of no 5 of spades. Yeah, this guy didn't have anything. He is just kidding. That $2, he was like drawing dead. Oh, shit. What is this? The check and raise. Well, we're not folding because, let's be real. We're not folding, but I'm not loving it. It's possible that he's he's crushing us with like a 6 or king queen or something like that. But I mean, he's been so tight. Maybe that was a bad call on the turn because he has been so tight. But now he bets 20. That's a little bit weird. He's been so tight blind versus blind, particularly. So the fact that he continued to play this hand, min raised pre, bet flop, bet turn, and now 20 into 56 on the river. How can he be bluffing, right? This would be a pretty weird bluff to make. I guess we just fold. Like, it makes much more sense to me that he is strong here than weak. It's possible he's just pulling off like a bluff, it's certainly possible. But I think that if he was going to bluff, it would make more sense to play his hand in a different fashion. Maybe he would bet more on the river. He would probably at least consider just betting on the turn. Like, why would he bet check raise, bet 20? It's certainly possible that we got bluffed there, but with all of the indicators, information, everything that we've got, I feel pretty good about that. But that was probably a fold on the river and maybe a fold on the turn. But I think that one of the advantages to calling on the turn is that I think that if he didn't have it, and we've seen it before in the videos several times, like if our opponent doesn't have it, that they are at least somewhat likely to just say, all right, you got it. If he just had some sort of a draw that missed, although 7-8 did actually get there. But I think that there's at least some chance that happens. So it can't be that bad calling 10 in that position, blah, blah, blah. And, in position, blind versus blind, with the top pair like that. But it might not be great. But at least we folded the river because I feel like that was probably correct. It's possible it wasn't, in which case that would be a really good bluff by him and a well-played hand. Regardless of what he had, he made himself $5 extra there by check raising turn. Maybe that's not true, because if he bet turn for $5 or $6 himself, then bet 15 on the river, he would have made a little bit more money that way, and he had a shot at making even more if we called the river this way. So I think he played his hand fine, regardless of whether he was bluffing or had it. I think he played his hand pretty well. So no, you get a tip of the old leprechaun hat to you, sir. Gonna play out these last few hands here, and then probably wrap this up. I guess it's fine. I was thinking about reloading, but 2 hands. I actually kind of like the position we've got with the stack we've got. I'm fine. It's good, $40. We'll run it up or quit in 2 hands. It's fine. Whatever. It is what it is. You can't win every time. Like I said, if you win every time, no one would play with you. It's just the truth, That's why Phil Hellmuth intentionally loses from time to time. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I haven't seen Phil in a long time. Last time I saw Phil was during the World Series. I don't think I've seen Phil since then. I'm trying to think of if there is an event that I saw Phil at since then, but I have not seen him. Last time I saw Phil Hellmuth, I think, was during... He was deep in some tournament this year. I wish I had my camera crew when it happened. I was walking to the RV this year. Yes, we had RVs if you had seen bracelet hunting this summer. So I was walking to the RV and off to the side of the parking lot, and Phil doesn't have an RV. So I'm not sure what Phil was doing outside in our parking lot, but whatever. Phil was just like outside by the cars and headphones in, doing some sort of like expressive yoga thing, like just walking around, like talking to himself, and just like it was hilarious, and didn't take any notice of me. And I remember walking over to him for some reason. I was gonna offer him to come in the RV and like hang out because I felt bad that he was like standing in the sun. And I walked over and I was like, and Phil was just like. And that was it. And he went right back to doing it. It didn't even slow him down. I was just going to be nice. And he was like, nope, I'm good. 110-degree heat doing my thing. Okay, sure. Phil Hellmuth's Taibo class is now being held outside in the RV parking lot, I guess. So I'm pretty sure that's the actual last time I saw Mr. Hellmuth. But I'm a fan. He's great, entertaining, funny, good-hearted guy, believe it or not. If you've only seen him on TV, he is a good guy, although hilarious sometimes, even though I don't think he realizes it. Aren't we all, though? All right, so that's it for me for today. We did not run it up, I'm afraid. Today was, I feel like we didn't really get much going. It was like, take a shot at this, nope, take a shot at this, I was like, all right. We just didn't get it right today a couple times, but I don't feel too upset about this loss. I feel like that just is one of those things that happens. All right, so we're down to $1,163.38. We've got some work to do, but don't worry, we'll run it up. There's always tomorrow. Life is one big session, right? We're down today, up tomorrow. We'll be up in the long run, right? That's all that really matters. So back tomorrow, right here, gambling it up. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Jason Somerville. If you want to find out as soon as I make new videos, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribers will get notifications emailed to you or however you want it, directly notified as soon as there's a new video. So don't forget to subscribe. I also link every video on Twitter. So if you want to see a new video coming out, follow me on Twitter at Jason Somerville, and you too can join the Run It Up Legion. That's right. All right, thanks so much for watching. As always, I will see you back for more tomorrow. That's it. That's what I'm doing. I'm ready to go. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Peace.